my independent and compassionate Aquarius friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. At Aquarius, this week there is a quiet friction beneath the surface of your days. You might sense it in the moments when you pause long enough to listen, an underlying tension that hums just below the calm exterior you show to the world. Perhaps you notice it in your interactions with others, or in the silence you create for yourself at night. There is something you have been carrying for a while, a subtle emotional weight that doesn't always have a name. It's not turmoil or chaos, but it isn't pure ease either. It's the feeling of knowing there is more to say or do, but not quite knowing when or even if the space will be safe for it. The week begins with this sensation of being present for others and yet acutely aware of all you're holding back. You may feel yourself reaching for a sense of composure, wanting to guide your own emotions with care, even when you can sense the storm clouds gathering behind your eyes. This is not about hiding, it's about honoring what's real, even when it asks you to sit with discomfort. You are both the stillness and the storm, and this week you are asked to notice both. Within this space, the energy of the King of Cups quietly colors your experience. The King's presence is not loud or dramatic, it's felt in the way you steady yourself amid a sea of emotions. This week, you are the one who listens closely, even when words are not spoken. You might find yourself caught between wanting to offer comfort to others and needing comfort yourself. There is a certain maturity in the way you are holding your feelings now, as if you are the container for all the currents swirling around you. You notice the urge to react, to speak out or pull away, but you choose again and again to pause and let the waves settle. There is a wisdom in your restraint, one born from knowing how easily words can spill over and change everything. You sense the value in feeling deeply, but also the strength it takes to let feelings pass through rather than sweep you away. Sometimes you may feel isolated in this role, being the calm in everyone else's storm can be lonely. Yet there is comfort in recognizing your ability to remain steady, to be both compassionate and boundaried at once. This inner state is not without its tensions, though. You might feel a subtle ache, an urge to express truths you've kept under wraps. The desire to be understood, to be seen for what you're really carrying, pulses beneath the surface. You hold this space for others, but this week the question hovers, who holds it for you? In the quiet moments you may notice your heart longing for reciprocity, for someone to witness your vulnerability as gently as you witness theirs. There is a softness in your strength, and this week you are fully aware of how tender that balance can be. As the days unfold, this deep inner steadiness shapes the path you find yourself on. The way you carry your feelings, carefully, deliberately, becomes the very ground on which you walk. But with every step, the pressure to act, to make things clearer or move things forward grows. Your emotional restraint doesn't make the world slow down. Instead, it sharpens your awareness of all the things that are calling for your attention. It is as if the more composed you remain, the more life tests your resolve, presenting situations where you must decide whether to stay silent or step in. The transition from being the calm observer to becoming an active participant is inevitable. The tension you've been holding inside starts to create a friction with the demands of your environment. The questions you've avoided, the conversations you've delayed, and the choices you've put off, they all begin to surface as if drawn out by the very energy you're trying to contain. In this way, your inner posture doesn't just shape your response to the world, it actually brings forward the very events that require you to choose, between comfort and challenge, between holding on and letting go. On your path this week, the Knight of Swords makes itself known not with subtlety, but with momentum. Suddenly, the pressures and demands around you intensify. There is an energy of urgency, a sense that things need to be addressed now rather than later. You may notice that situations escalate quickly, a conversation turns sharper, a decision comes due, or a long-standing misunderstanding finally reaches its breaking point. This is not a gentle nudge from the universe, it's more like a brisk wind that insists you move. The world seems to speed up, and you feel the friction between your measured approach and the rapid pace of unfolding events. There's a temptation to rush, to match the world's intensity with your own, to speak before you're ready or to act before you've fully thought things through. The Knight's energy is compelling, and it can feel like others are pushing you to move faster, to commit, to reveal what you've kept hidden. You might experience moments of frustration, as if your patience is being tested and your boundaries are being questioned. At the same time, there's an excitement in the air, a sense that things are finally shifting, even if the change feels abrupt. The choices you face now are a direct response to the emotional work you've been doing. The path is not without obstacles, but the momentum is real. The friction you feel is not just external, it's the result of your own desire to break free from old patterns. This week may bring confrontations, swift decisions, or unexpected clarity. The world asks you to be decisive, even as you long for more time to process. The challenge is to find your own pace amid the rush, to allow the pressure to clarify your intentions rather than scatter them. This is where your inner steadiness is tested, and where the real growth begins to take shape. Yet none of what unfolds is predetermined. The potential that emerges from this week depends on how fully you meet the moment with awareness. The events and pressures are not simply happening to you, they are shaped by how present you are with your own experience. The shift from emotional restraint to decisive action is not automatic. It requires you to recognize what you need, what you feel, and what you are willing to risk. Growth arises not from avoiding discomfort, but from allowing yourself to be changed by it. The possibility for something new exists only if you are willing to be conscious in the midst of momentum. It is your choice, and the outcome is as open as you allow it to be. In this open space, the Eight of Wands appears, not as a guarantee but as an invitation. If you meet this week's challenges with clarity and presence, you may sense a sudden acceleration, a release of energy that has been building for some time. The feeling is not so much about control as it is about flow, moments when things move quickly, when communication becomes direct, when obstacles seem to dissolve. You may notice that the conversations you've been dreading finally happen, and the air clears in their wake. There is a lightness that follows honest expression, a sense of forward movement that can be both exhilarating and daunting. This is not about forcing outcomes, but about allowing what is ready to move to move. The growth here is about letting go of the need to hold everything together and trusting that clarity can come through action as much as reflection. The energy of the Eight of Wands invites you to experience what happens when you stop holding back, when you let yourself be seen, heard, and felt. It is not a promise that everything will resolve perfectly, but it is a gentle reminder that movement itself can be healing. The potential is not in the outcome, but in the willingness to engage fully with what is present. This week, growth looks like trusting your own momentum, even when it surprises you. Taken together, these energies form a single, unfolding story. You begin the week as the steady observer, holding space for yourself and others, feeling the weight of what remains unspoken. As events gather speed and intensity, you are drawn into action, not because you want to rush, but because the world demands your presence. The friction between your inner calm and the outer rush is real, but it is also transformative. It calls out your clarity, your courage, and your willingness to be honest about what you feel. When you meet this moment consciously, you discover the freedom that comes from letting go of control of old stories, of the need to have everything figured out. The air clears and you find yourself lighter, more open, more connected. The journey from holding back to moving forward is not always easy, but it is deeply human. By week's end, you may find that what once felt like tension has become the very source of your strength. The reassurance is this: you are capable of meeting intensity with grace, of holding boundaries without closing your heart, of allowing change without losing yourself. In your willingness to be present, you make space for everything you need to move, and for everything that is ready to move you. Actionable insights for Aquarius this week. This week's emotional current invites you to notice where inner calm meets outer pressure. You could try letting a small truth out in a low-stakes conversation today. You might try moving your body when you start to feel restless. You could spend a few moments listening to what your heart is quietly asking for, even if you don't have answers yet. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I am steady, even when the world rushes past. My voice is worthy of being heard. I move at my own rhythm, trusting myself. Each moment brings me closer to clarity. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.